How is everybody doing today? Today, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is that you're listening to this, how are you in this moment? How are you feeling? How's your body feeling? How's your mind? How's your heart? Just take a couple seconds, pause this if you need to, and really begin to check in with yourself. Pay attention to what feelings or emotions or what part of your body feels different sensations when certain thoughts come to mind, if any at all. So again, pause if you need to, take a couple moments or more than a couple moments to, really check in with yourself. So now that we're all back, how are you doing today? How are you doing? I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope that things can change sooner than later. Just begin to check in with yourself more frequently, because you are important. I know for a lot of us, we tend to put other people before we put ourselves. And that can lead to some things that may happen within our bodies from stress, and we may begin to see different changes within our bodies and within ourselves, whether it's health related, mentally related, heart related. We may begin to see these changes. So again, really begin to take the time for you, right? Because I'm really in a season of my life where it's a combination of get somebody else to do it and find something safe to do. Find something safe to do, please, because for me personally, it's like I feel as if more than enough people around me forget that I was a whole person outside of who I have evolved to be in this current time in my life, right? I was a whole different person. I am no longer that person, right? And in this season of get somebody else to do it / go find something safe to do, I have to operate from a space of duality, and I have to allow myself, the space and the time and the mindset and the heart set to come to an understanding with my mind and my mouth that there are some things that, yes, I want to say and just spew certain things, but then I have to check myself and say, that's not the way to do it. Because yes, I want to do things, right, that are not nice things. Like, yes, I want to slap the hell out of you. Because why would you do that? Why would you say that? Why are you like that? Why do you operate in that mind space, in that heart space? Because we can really do better. And sometimes it's hard, being the evolved version of myself, because again, the people who are newcomers to my life, right? Again, I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 40s. And so a lot of people have not known me in my entirety to know I could get real slick at the mouth. And it's like they see me slip in and out of those states of go find something safe to do, because your attitude, your tone, your delivery, whatever the case may be, no, it is no longer in alignment with me, okay? Because I've reached a point where get somebody else to do it. I have given you the blueprint, the pink print, the leopard print, whatever print it is, the keys to the kingdom, handed on a golden platter, yet you still continue to operate in this way. And I have shown you and I have told you that I used to be, a little rough around the edges, so to speak. You know, compared to the other people that I grew up with, I always felt like the black sheep. I always felt like I was a little rough around the edges because all that prim and proper, no, that just not, it was not for me. I was going to say what I said and I was going to stand on business. And somewhere along the way, I completely, when I say I just completely changed my mindset, like, bro, this is not it. I would rather exist in my land of sunshine and rainbows. But then that shit became toxic because the newcomers in my life, you know, again, the people who have not been there for my entirety, for the majority of me, right? They see me operating in this place of sunshine and rainbows and, hey, let's fix it because yes, we can, you know, all the love and the light. And it's like, now they see me and it's like, hold up. Why are you being mean? No, I'm not. I can be mean. I can be mean. I can be mean, because if you want to talk about mean, your actions, your words, they made me feel a certain type of way. So when I reciprocate that energy, or you feel that I'm reciprocating my energy in a negative light, when all I'm really doing is setting boundaries and saying, you're not going to talk to me this way. You're not going to treat me this way. You're not going to continue to come into my energetic field and be a distraction, be a disruption, be a stressor, be anything that is negative to my mind. Anything that makes me want to knock you upside your head. Because yes, when I want to knock you upside your head, I have to take a closer look at me and say, why do I want to knock you upside your head? It's because you can do better. You can do better. But how much more of me telling you can do better before you really start to realize and recognize and understand that you can be better. No, I'm good. Get somebody else to do it. Double it and pass it to the next person. How about that? Because I have done all that I can do. And now that I'm setting boundaries, oh, I'm mean. Oh, I've hurt your feelings. Oh, I'm this and oh, I'm that. No, I just know that I am better than what I allowed myself to be in that season of my life. That's it. That's all. I tolerated some things that I shouldn't have tolerated. I accepted some things and some people that I should not have accepted and tolerated. And now when I'm sitting here and I'm looking and I'm wondering, why is this irritating me? This is this person's life. Why is it irritating me that they're doing this? Why is it irritating me that they just can't seem to get it together? It's because I see their potential. I speak life into them. But when I'm speaking life into them, you're taking part of my life and you're not reciprocating that giving of the life. You're not reciprocating that circulation of that wealth, because in my mind, in my opinion, that is how we keep our wealth circulating. Wealth is not just monetary. No, wealth is knowledge. Wealth is power. Wealth is forgiveness. Wealth is an abundance of things. Prosperity is not just monetary. I am prosperous in the love that I have because it is unconditional. Unconditional. But see, I feel as if that's where people get things twisted, right? That's where people can get things misconstrued. Just because someone has unconditional love for you does not mean that they can be your scapegoat. That does not mean that they can be your punching bag. That does not mean any of the that can come along with people thinking, oh, they're going to love me unconditionally. I can do whatever to them. I can say whatever. You are absolutely right. Because when the Creator, when God, the architect, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is that you resonate with. When we were created, do you think that's what we were created for? To spew hate and continuing constant chaos and just be down here on earth just running amok. Just because we can do whatever we want and say whatever we want, at what point does enough become enough? At what point does enough of people doing what they want and saying what they want and just being how they want, and it just causes destruct? It just causes chaos. It causes confusion. It causes hurt, pain, anxiety, whatever, instead of doing better. I'm not talking about the people who are doing better and actively, mindfully, spiritually, soulfully, heartfully, doing everything in their power to be the best versions of themselves. And then you have the other people who I feel like for some of them in that category, they'll do a little something just to get back into your good graces, right? And then it's just like history repeats itself. But when is enough? And when will somebody break that cycle? When will somebody break free and say, you know what, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to deal with this. Because I've done all I have done all that I can do. I have exhausted all of my resources on you. I could be doing something else. Go find something safe to do, right? Go find something safe to do. Because if you don't, the outcome might not be pretty. And I guess all of this is leading up to everything that I have been working on for this entire year, because coming out of 2023 was a doozy, right? And then the opening of 2024 was just wow. It was just wow. And so I've really been putting in the work, and I've been, working on some things, and this message has really been on my heart for a while now, but really over the course of the last few weeks, and it really just hit home right before I started recording this episode. Like, something happened, and it was just like, just go with the flow, and let's see where it takes you. And I see where this is taking me, because everything that I'm saying now is leading up to the next episode, which is going to be, just a breakdown of everything that's been going on and how those situations have brought me to different, spaces mentally, spiritually, all of those, to this point of I have to operate and exist in a place of duality. I have to operate in that. Get somebody else to do it. Honestly, go find something safe to do. Go find something safe to do. And when I say get somebody else to do it, because once upon a time I told somebody, get somebody else to do it, and they did what they did, and then situations and outcomes happened, and yeah, so that was the result of get somebody else to do it. But when I say get somebody else to do it, I mean you. And if I'm talking to you specifically, or if I'm talking to that part of you who is like me in this moment, where you're just fed up with that outside noise and those distractions, right? When I'm saying get somebody else to do it, I mean you. You have to be that somebody else to do it, because I can't do it for you. The next person that comes along whose energy you try to suck and be just an energy vampire, I can't be the one. They can't be the one. You have to be the one to understand, overstand all of that, and recognize and realize, why do people keep walking away from me? Why do I keep finding myself in these situations? If I don't get my mind together, if I don't get my mouth together, right? Because our mouths can get us in a whole heap of trouble sometimes, right? That's why we have to be mindful of the things that we say. The things that we say can lead to the things that we do, and we just have to do better in every aspect in our lives. Yes, I know we live on a spinning rock. I know life can life. And life can take you up and slam you down, and you get up with some missing teeth and broken bones, and you still say, yes, victory is mine because I'm able to stand. And then life drop kicks you in the back of the head, and you like, damn, I just got up, my teeth busted, my nose busted, now I got a contusion in the back of my head, now I got a concussion, but I'm still here, right? I promise you, all of that is not for anything. It's not for nothing, right? And so just be mindful that, yes, life can take you through some extremely pivotal moments. But I promise you, the best is yet to come. You just have to trust the process and just abide in the fact and that you know that for your life, everything is everything, right? And that is for that. I feel like, for me personally, the people who I know in my life and the people who are in close proximity to me, right? I've seen some things that they've gone through. And it's just like, they say, no, how can you say everything is everything and everything is connected and everything is going to be okay? Well, how could you not? When you didn't have that money for that bill, I never heard you say, can I come stay with you because my lights got turned off, because I had no water, because I had no food. I didn't hear you say that, because ultimately everything was everything and everything worked out for you. Because if not, you wouldn't be here where you are right now today. If everything had not worked out, when you took those things from your job on multiple occasions, and I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I'm speaking to somebody in particular. When you took those things from your job and they found out, even the ones who didn't find out, if everything wasn't everything, I promise you, you would be in prison. I promise you, things would be a lot worse for you if everything wasn't everything. But it's just the fact that you don't realize and you don't understand that you are worth more than those things that you do. You don't have to do those things that you do because you can do better. You are capable. You are able. You are worthy of so much more than what you give yourself credit for. So, with all of that being said, don't be mad when those closest to you walk away and say, get somebody else to do it. Don't you dare be upset with them. Don't you dare be upset with them when they say, go find something safe to do. Go find something safe to do and heal your mind. Go find something safe to do and heal your heart. Because when people continue to play around in people's faces and they continue to do wicked, hateful things, the outcome is just as heavy. And I don't want to see that for anybody. I've seen what wickedness could do firsthand. That's why in this season of my life and every day hereafter, I don't care if I have to talk about it in every episode. Do better. Do better. Do better. You know better. You don't have to exist in this space of nonsense. You don't. What do you think your children see when they look at you? Do you want your children to grow up with an impoverished mindset? Do you want them to grow up with a scarcity mindset? No. And if you do, again, you need to understand why you feel that way. You need to understand why you don't feel as if you are worthy. I know there are people who may have said some things to you. I know there are some people who may have done some things to you, but you are not in that moment. Even when you revisit that moment, you are here, you are now, you are safe, you are still, you are protected. You have to know that you are, because when you begin to know that you are, you begin to operate as though you are, and you do better in every aspect, every day, at all times. Exceed your own expectations. If you think you are nothing, prove yourself wrong and go do something. Not cause harm or chaos to yourself or others. And if you're having a bad day, take time away. Be able to find your words in a healthy manner, where you say, you know what, I'm not in the best of moods, and I don't want to have to take it out on you, because I found myself in that very predicament lately, right? And I've talked about this on previous episodes where I felt rage, and I felt anger, and I felt loneliness, and it was causing me to not only want to lash out at the people around me, but I did lash out. And then I would have to spin the block back after I did some self-reflecting. And, you know, my tone, it could have been better. My delivery could have been better. But at the end of the day, I meant what I said. Because I will no longer allow for you to exist as the default character that I've known you to be, right? It's like when you start a game, right? When you start a game, you start off with this default character. And as the more you play the game, you can level up your weapons, your armor, your vehicle, you know, whatever genre it is that you vibe with, right? You can elevate your character. You can evolve your character. Why would you want to go back to the default character, right? Just because the enemy came and attacked you and you lost some health. Health. Just because you lost some health and you're down, come on, you got teammates. They can reinforce you, right? But how many times we gonna keep reinforcing you when you keep defaulting back to this default character, and your weaponry and your armor is not up to where it needs to be? You know what? We gonna sit this one on out. You won't have to figure it out yourself. Go ahead and die, okay? Because sometimes we do have to not die, you know, in real life aspects, not literally, right? But there are parts of ourselves that have to be done away with because they no longer serve us. That weak ass version of me no longer serves me. And that was a weak mindset for me to think that in order for me to make everybody around me happy and to avoid uncomfortable situations and conversations, then I'm just going to constantly exist in this land of sunshine and rainbows. And even though what they said to me was really out of pocket and it really hurt my feelings, I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to smile. But it's really killing me on the inside. And I feel like I should be able to talk about these things with the people that who did them to me without them being exploited. It took me there, right? It took me there, and I went there with myself. That's why I'm able to tell you that I know better so I can do better. But if you don't do better, I'm not going to be a part of it. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. So I'm not saying that you gotta, freaking sneeze glitter dust, okay? All right? And frolic with the fairies, okay? And gallop with the unicorn. I'm not saying any of that, right? But can we find a place of happiness? Can we find that place? Because ultimately it starts with ourselves. It starts with me. It starts with you, right? And we can't continue to, I'm going to speak for me. I know for me personally, I would find myself in this cycle of blame, right? Yes, I have always accepted responsibility for the part that I have played in any situation, right? I have always accepted my part, because I have done some things that, whatever. I'm not that person anymore. I have done some things. I have said some things. But again, I am not her. I had to do away with that because I'm better than that. I can get my point across without cussing people out. And I found myself in this cycle of so-and-so did this to me. So-and-so did this to me. So-and-so did this to me. And I found myself mad because so-and-so did this to me and so-and-so did this to me. And even though it was different people who did things to me, it was pretty much the same thing that they did to me. And instead of blaming, I said, hold on, I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame myself, but I am going to figure it out and figure out, why did I feel the need to blame them each and every time? And instead of just accepting it is what it is, right? Instead of blaming, we have to really begin to self-reflect and be like, yes, I played this part, and yes, they played this part, but ultimately it's just about the lesson, right? So that we don't repeat those cycles, so that we don't repeat those situationships, so that we don't repeat those relationship, whatever it is, in any aspect, right? So that we don't continuously find ourselves going through the motions, right? And not being able to express our emotions because of fear of what other people may think of us, or fear of how people may react to us. We should never fear our loved ones. We should never fear our loved ones. We should never be afraid to discuss anything with our loved ones, not our feelings. Not our feelings. So, again, when you know better and you actively do better, a win is a win. We all mess up. We do. We all do things and say things, but how quickly do you come back? How quickly do you recover from that, and not beat yourself up and be like, dang, I could have handled that differently. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to say that the way that I did, but I did. And I'ma do better, right? Right. And when you say you gonna do better, there will be tests, okay? There will be tests, right? Because after you've leveled up your armor and you go to fight the big boss, that's a test. And sometimes it take you a long time to pass that test, right? Repeat offenders, right? Sometimes it takes you a couple tries to learn the lesson. And although for some of us, it may take time and time again for us to learn the lesson. But moving forward, let's try not to make it time and time again. You know, from this day forward, let's really do our best to take the tools and the knowledge that we've been equipped with, and let's apply that pressure to ourselves, right? Let's really challenge our minds and our mouths not to do foolish things. You feel me? We have to not only develop objectivity, but self-awareness as well. And along our paths, it can be easy to be influenced, right? We can be easily influenced by others. And if we're easily influenced by others, we can find ourselves acting out of character, tolerating things that we shouldn't tolerate, doing things that we shouldn't do, speaking things that we shouldn't speak. And we can get lost. We can lose ourselves. Now is not the time to lose ourselves. Now is the time to find ourselves, right? It's not easy, but as long as when we do find ourselves, we set firm boundaries and find a healthy balance. Because, again, that's the most important. When you know better, you do better. It's easy to get lost in the sauce, but find your way. Stand firm in your truth. Stand firm in your convictions. And as always, until next time, remain highly elevated. I love each and every one of you beyond infinity. Until next time.